Hello everyone, we have an Acanthophis antarcticus, the Australian common death adder, and we're gonna feed this little guy. He's normally a very good eater, so it shouldn't be a problem, but let's see how this is going to be. There you go. Alright, let me give you a little bit of information about these snakes. They come from eastern and southern Australia, and this particular version comes from the area around Sydney. And as you can see, these guys have an incredible red color. Now, death adders usually have a problem when they're babies. They don't feed well. So a lot of people resort to force feeding, but tease feeding works very well with these guys. And especially this male never requires extensive teasing. He is a very good eater. So let's zoom in a little bit to the face, hopefully. As you can see, the intense red color is obvious. They turn out to be very beautiful adults and with incredible coloring. Now, the name is common death adder, but unfortunately they're not common anywhere but Australia. Getting them in US and Europe is a hassle, and getting special locality versions like these guys is very difficult. So I'm quite lucky to have a pair of them. They were born this year. I would say a few months ago, and they are eating and growing well. His sister is a bit of a problem. She requires extensive teasing to feed properly, but again, no force feeding is required, so that's very important. Just to give you a little bit of information, the adult size is about 1 meter long. The venom is obviously pure neurotoxic. Attacks the diaphragm and stopped breathing. So it's very serious venom. I think it was number 6 or 7 in the top 10 list. So quite dangerous snakes, but they are very easily manageable because they usually stay in one place and do not mess with you unless you come close to them. But of course you always have to be aware of them, and if you get into the strike range, you never know what's going to happen, as they're the fastest ever striking venomous snake. This guy is doing a quick job. It's very nice. Just to explain the difference between force feeding, assist feeding, and tease feeding. Again, I told you some death adders are problematic feeders, so people who don't have much time just grab a mouse, grab the snake, and force the mouse into the snake's mouth, and they push it down, which is a method, but extensive force feeding, has killed snakes before and caused trouble. Assist feeding would be again grabbing the snake and letting it bite the head of the mouse. Some snakes just need an initial bite and then they would swallow, which is less stressful on the snake but still dangerous for the keeper and the snake itself. And tease feeding is basically just moving the mouse around the snake, you know, hitting the head, hitting the tail, and expecting a strike, which usually, almost always, works well with death adders. So my advice to anyone who breeds these guys is just try tease feeding as much as you can, and the snake eventually will feed. Anyway, someone is trying to reach me apparently, so I'm gonna cut short. But he is done already, so I hope everything will be well. Thank you. Bye.